Hello everyone. So this is going to be day 14 of 30 for my 30 days of consciousness. And this topic is, when do you live? Is it in the past, for the future, or right now? And this topic came up this afternoon when I was eating lunch with my mom and we were talking about grief. And it reminded me of something that we talked about last Wednesday in my counseling class, and it really stuck me. And so that made me want to talk about this topic today. And so this whole idea of when do you live is really looking at when you are making choices and you're creating your life, are you doing it from the perspective of what's happened in the past, for what you're wanting in the future, or what you desire and require right now? And this is probably one of the best things that I've learned in Access Consciousness, is how to make choices based off the present. How to start looking at where you are now and choosing every 10 seconds rather than looking at what is going on in the future and where you came from. I think it's important to know who you are and parts of your past, but I also think it's important to recognize that while it's nice to know where you were and to award yourself and recognize where you've come from, it's also important to know when you're getting stuck in the past. And so in counseling, what was said, and it made sense to me in my class, was that people who tend to live, we were talking about mindfulness and why mindfulness has become such a large thing in mental health counseling. And in very, very general context, I'm not saying this is true for everyone, but generally speaking, people who suffer depression usually has to do with them living in the past. There's something that's happened in the past, either something that they had that got taken away, someone that they had that got taken away, or just some experience from the past that they didn't like and it was very heavy for them and it created this trauma and drama. So that would be living in the past. So if now you're experiencing depression, it could be linked to something in your past. And again, I'm not saying this is true for everyone, or that this is why you have depression if you are someone that is depressed. I'm saying this is one possibility. This is one way to look at it. The other piece is living for the future. So people who tend to have very high anxiety or panic disorders usually stem from thoughts of what their future holds. They don't know what to expect, and that terrifies them. And so rather than living in the present and saying, okay, what can I do today to create a future that I'd like to have? This is what I want in my future, and if it doesn't happen, then what am I going to do? And so the idea here is to live in the present. You have to be willing to choose every 10 seconds. And this idea of choosing every 10 seconds is from Access Consciousness. To learn more about them, check out accessconsciousness.com. But it really is this idea that in every 10 seconds you get to choose. And so the way that they pose this as a question is, if you only have 10 seconds left to live your life, what do you choose? And then in 10 seconds from that, you ask the question again, and again, and again. And so it forces you to live in the present. So in this 10 seconds, I'm choosing to make this video. 10 seconds from now, I'll probably still be making this video, and some point down the road, I may get out of my car and go read and then go to class or whatever. But the only thing that I can choose right this second is what I'm doing in this 10 seconds. And so it's very freeing to think about, if you were willing to choose every 10 seconds, what could your life be? Like, what possibilities are there that you've never imagined possible? And acknowledging that you get to choose every 10 seconds on how you want your life to be. And for those of you who are hearing this word choose and choice and choose and choice and thinking, I don't have a choice, or someone else makes this choice for me, is that really true, or are you choosing to allow someone to choose for you? So, anything and everything that doesn't allow you to recognize and acknowledge that you have choice, would you destroy and uncreate it all? And would you be willing to now empower yourself to make choices based off what you desire and require in your life? And so that is my spiel. So ask yourself, and maybe this could be when something upsets you, or you get tormented by something, to ask, when am I living? When? Not why, what am I choosing? When am I living? Am I actually being present in my life? Am I actually making a choice now in the present based off what I desire and require in this 10 seconds? So just something to play with, maybe some new tools for you to toss around. If this is stuff that interests you, I don't do a lot of mentioning of classes and things, and I'm noticing this, and I should do this. If these are tools that I've been sharing these last 14 days is something that interests you, I highly recommend getting to a bars class, or at least having a bars session. Excuse me. So if you've never had your bars run, the bars are 32 points on the head that when we lightly touch them, allows you to release thoughts, feelings, emotions, and conclusions that you have about those different areas of your life. And so it allows you for more space to be able to create the life you desire and require. Worst case scenario, you'll be super relaxed and feel like you had an awesome massage. Best case scenario, you could change your whole life. And if you like the tools and you want to learn more about the tools themselves, I highly recommend an Access Bars class. In an Access Bars class, you get certified to be a practitioner. So after just one class, you can do this for others and for yourself, and you can charge for it. You also get facilitation by a certified Access Bars facilitator like myself. You watch a DVD from the founder, Gary Douglas, where he personally demonstrates how to do the hand positions and where the bars are and what they are and how they work with co-creator Dr. Dane. And you get to give 2 practice sessions and receive 2 practice sessions. So over the course of 8 hours, you get your bars run twice, you run someone's bars twice, and you get certified to do this again in the future for money. So how does it get any better than that? So if you're interested in a class, you can go to bars.accessconsciousness.com and search for a facilitator in your area. I myself am teaching a class here in Dayton, Ohio, November 19th from 10 to 7 at the Southern Ohio Holistic and Wellness Center. And you can actually probably search that. I have it as an event on Facebook. And then I'll be co-facilitating bars with Teresa Bartlett, who's also doing this video series with me. And that will be November 27th from 10 to 6 in Findlay, Ohio. And we haven't made a venue just yet because we want to make sure it's comfortable for everyone that comes. And we're not sure how many to expect, and so we're keeping our options open there. So if you are interested in either of those classes, feel free to comment below or talk with me, or just go check out my events on my page. They should show up there. Or you can contact Teresa if you want to do the one in the end of November. And I wonder what magic we can co-create together. So that's the Access Bars and Bars class. That's the stepping stone in Access Consciousness. And I also want to mention the Living Beyond Distraction book. I posted the link above. And what that really is about is getting to this point where you can live beyond those things that stick you, beyond your points of view of things that you've been told over and over and over and over and over again that you kind of buy as your own. And then those stick you. And these are things like anger, rage, fury, and hate, sex and relationships, family, business. There's lots in there, so check that out. So just to wrap up here, so the question again, when are you living? So when something bugs you, ask yourself, when are you living? Are you living in the past, for the future, or right now? And what would it take for everyone listening and watching this to become more present in your life and to make choices every 10 seconds to create the life you truly desire? So have a good evening. Definitely check out all these amazing tools. There's so much going on in the world of Access Consciousness, so much change happening on the planet, and I wonder what else is possible. Love and light.